So I feel like the forefathers of this country spent so much time, petitioning for the rights of, just blacks in this country to have like better education and all of that. But I find that let's just go into even a stat, say, black women are the most educated of the populace in itself. This has been like a talking point. What is the truth beyond this? Like, a quick Google search gives us that while black women are achieving higher education at increasing rates, their overall bachelor degrees attainment is still behind or other groups. For example, young Asian women have bachelor's degrees attainment rate of 77%, and young white women have a rate of about 52%. So, in other words, that narrative should be thrown out the window. No, it doesn't mean that black women aren't doing well. No, what I find that's happening that I really don't agree with is how black women are using these degrees. I don't know if they're using degrees to better the actual populace and the actual community, or they're using it against the community. Much of what being back into the same of, hey, I need a dollar or two to get by, and as much as I can get a dollar from you, then hey, that's all that matters. That's what I'm seeing happening. So I've just come to realize that it's no longer about family. It's no longer about, you make $2 and I make $2. Let's put our $2 together. That makes it what, four? And we can use the four and see exactly what we can buy. It's no longer about family and leveling up. No, it's about the money. That's exactly where we are at this point in time in our little community.
One thing he cannot do is remove me from anything. I'm deeply embedded and ingrained the way I have everything set up. He can't make any moves without me.
Wow.
That's what I'm wanting you to do with Anthony.
I'm a keep it a buck, okay? What men are not thinking about when you are upset about a woman that you're choosing is that we ultimately want to submit to the leadership of our partner. Most women want to be soft in their homes. Most women want to be led by their partner, especially feminine women. Let me not say most women. Feminine women want to be led. So that's who I'm speaking to right now. Masculine men want to lead. Well, this is the thing. If I'm making all the decisions for the household.
Hold on, before you get into that, I think you should kind of work that again. All men generally want to lead because men generally have that particular thing in them. Testosterone says, hey, you should be leading. All men. All men that me know is normally going to want to lead, regardless of what he's telling you. He wants to actually lead that particular thing.
Because I don't question where my rent is going to come from. I don't. I have a car, like all the things you just said. I'm like, oh, I did that 15 years ago. So the conversations are a little bit different, and I feel like if you have to juggle between how am I going to put food in my fridge, gas in my car, and also pay my rent on time, because at a time when I first moved to America from Canada at 20 years old, that was my story. That was a long time ago, and that's no longer my story. So if that's your story, great. Go be with somebody that has that similar story.
But who are you talking to, Sarah? When you come on these platforms, who exactly are you speaking with? That's my question, because again, this is supposed to be Dr. Sarah. Y'all know Sarah, right? And Sarah is on these platforms, and I feel like every time I see Sarah on these platforms, it's never being paired toward the black community. Why get the degree if you're not going to use it to see if it can uplift the men or uplift the women? Who exactly are you talking to when you say go be with whatever else it is? Who are you talking to?
Rascal.
When you start to give that negative kind of pushback, who are you talking to? Because it's not white women and it's not Asian women. They're not listening to this.
Go be with somebody else.
That's the extreme example, though.
That's the extreme.
But the conversations that we have, and women are literally saying, I make $300,000 a year. If he makes $100K, he's not viable.
But wait, Doc, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying the leadership. It's about leadership. So for me,
but money doesn't equate to leadership.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. So in other words, no, we're gone to the point now where money is pretty much leadership. What about in the 1950s? Let me go back to the civil rights days when people didn't really make that much. What about those times in the 1930s when you had the whole, the Great Depression? What about those times when black people had to pool their monies together in order to get things going? How are they leading each other then? How are they thriving then? Chrysler got well off of just black people, buying it and bringing it back. What about those people then? Weren't they leading in that time? This is the foolishness.
Let me finish. This is what I'm saying. If you are going to lead me, in the ways. That means you need to have the mindset. That means you need to have the mentality, the emotions, the spirit, the energy, the physical. And that's why I said in the beginning, rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. You cannot use 7 because that's how I measure success. It's not just about the money. If all you have is money, you're broke. And to a woman, if all you have is your body, you're broke too. Y'all deserve each other. That's the modern day woman I'm talking about. And the men, they deserve each other. But what I'm saying is, if you're gonna lead this household, I don't wanna have to slow down to let you pass me up.
So you're not talking about the modern day personnel. You're not talking about the average personnel, because the average personnel, you'll have to take some time to build. You'll have to take some time to get things going. They're probably coming from a situation where things wasn't great back when they were growing up, and now they might have an opportunity to try to say them can go back to school, or they're trying to get another skill. You're not talking about the regular person. This is the problem that I'm having with a bunch of these ladies who are coming on these podcasts, calling themselves doctors, saying them are doctors, going to school for whatever it is, and then when they come on the platform, it's nothing else but to tear black families apart, because that's all you're doing. The little young girls who see this, they're thinking, oh, I think Sarah may be right. You know what? Maybe I need to just get a man with a bunch of money, just like Shayla is thinking.
Let's speak about the women who are not feeling, because it's so extreme that the average woman doesn't make that much money.
That's true.
Right? So when we're speaking about extremes, we're speaking about your specific situation, right? And we are not accounting for the actual listener.
Thank you very much. And I'm glad she's kind of pointed this out. When you're talking, you're not talking to the average listener. People are watching these things. Who exactly are you talking to? White people are not watching this. Asians are not watching this. Latinos are not watching this. They're not being heavily influenced by this. So you're really talking to the black populace. You really are talking to the black populace. You really are trying to income shame the black populace, instead of you tell them some other way of gaining some other skill, or, to put them on some way, somehow. You're trying to see exactly if you can tear them down, and then tell the woman, hey, she needs to be looking for a guy that makes $300,000 and $400,000.
Hold on. The actual listener is making 50, 70, maybe 80. Right. So what happens to the man that only makes 50, 70, 80? Is he now completely disqualified? Because we've completely changed the conversation. We said average. Now we're talking about men that make $300,000 a year. We can't even keep the conversation to the same topic of the average man. He's still being bypassed in the conversation.
And you're trying to talk to the average listener. I'm glad that she's kind of pinpointing that, because that's what's going on. A man who makes $300,000 is in the 0.0000 something percent. And chances are he is married. He's already married. Him already find him bride. So who are you talking to? What are you telling these little girls to go after? Someone else's man? I'm telling you, it's the same Shayla complex with Angelina. It is the same complex. This is what you're going after.
So if he's being bypassed in the conversation where we can't even stay on topic and talk about the man, imagine the women that's listening to the conversation, their mind is still going to the $300,000 man.
Can I just
That
say
was
one thing?
accurate.
Let me just add this context. Because I missed the landing the first time I talked, so I just want to say
Don't
this
miss.
part. Even if you are that 50, 60, 70,000 earning man, there is still a desire for you at some point to make enough to where your wife doesn't have to work.
Yes.
All right, foolishness. Yes and no. Some people are just content with their lives and they're happy how it is. Why can't sometimes people just be happy with whatever it is that you have? Why it always have to be more? Why you can't sit down and say, you know what? My wife and I are here and we just want to live in a level of peace. Every day we want to live in nirvana, we want to do exactly what we can possibly do. And I'm not saying you shouldn't try to level up. I want you to hear what I'm saying. I'm not saying you shouldn't try to be leveling up. But why I can't just sit down and live and enjoy my wife and enjoy my kids and enjoy the house I have and enjoy going to work and enjoy all of these things? Why do I have to always be desiring and pressing? And again, I'm not saying you can't desire. But this is foolishness. This is just now, again, pondering to the same point again. We're trying to tell the man who's making $50,000, hey, it is not enough. You need to go break your back, steal, if you need to go do that.
Are people not able to make a living and provide a beautiful life with $50,000? That's crazy.
No.
That is exactly what he said. That's what he said. That's exactly.
He lost. You lost unless you live in a New York, or unless you live in a California, or unless you live in one of those expensive cities. Then that is the case. But if you really and truly live in, for example, like a Pennsylvania, say a Williamsport, or one of those places where I live in Williamsport at one point in time, houses are cheap. Houses are actually for $200,000. They are cheap, and you would be able to live a particular lifestyle. You could be able to do what you wanted to do. Houses are cheap.
I said it 20
And to
minutes ago.
allude to a person, if a person makes under a certain amount of money, to say that they don't have the ability to lead, provide, and have all of these things, that's exactly what y'all are saying. Y'all are going a roundabout way to say it, but that's how people are perceiving the things that y'all say. And when y'all speak, y'all completely discount a large portion of the world, right? Because you only speak towards your experience, and that's not fair to the average listener.
I agree with that. But I also feel like, and the men in the comment section gonna tell me if I'm wrong. I believe if you're making $50,000, $60,000 right now, I believe you still have a desire. Even if your family is happy with you.
We don't want to hear this because this is not the point. The point is that what's going on is that the lack of satisfaction and the lack of even being happy or thankful for where you are is causing a disconnect in our community. I've sat down and I've come to this country as a person from, say, from Jamaica. We're living here in the US. And I've come and I've watched white couples who make $50,000 live very successful lives, get themselves a house together, get themselves a car together, get themselves a family together, and live their lives much peacefully. And now find black people who are dissatisfied in the same particular scenario. I don't know how it works like that, but it has somewhat works like that. And I'm starting to attribute it to these people on these particular platforms because that's exactly who they're marketing to.
Your wife is happy with you. There's a desire in you to make enough to where she may not have to go to work one day. To make enough to where your kids ain't got to worry about whether they can pay for college or not.
But you're valid before you even get there.
But I'm saying there's a desire for that to happen.
The desire is there.
The desire is there.
Viable.
And here's the thing. The desire is there. A lot of times, a lot of men, they're more concerned about making that finances and that security because they want to give it to somebody. They want to provide it to somebody.
Yes.
So it's that innate thing that we have.
Yes.
So that's why I'm saying on the flip side, I can understand why a woman would be attracted to a man's desire to do that.
Unnecessary as to what we're talking about at this point in time. It's unnecessary because we're moving the goalposts. The point is this: a man making $50,000 and he's trying to go to see the average woman make $50,000, making a family together and starting something and taking their time and building the kingdom brick by brick and layer by layer. That's the point I'm trying to make with all of this. All of that other stuff is nonsense because we're not getting anywhere fast. We're not. The rates in terms of the amount of real estate that black people own has gone down. It went down slightly, but it has gone down. It has gone down. Back in the 50s and 60s, your grandma and grandpa would be trying to buy a house. That's not happening now. What's happening is black folk are sitting down thinking, hey, let me see exactly if I can go to this party and get this here and get this nails and get this BBL, which is nonsensical because it doesn't help the community at all. It doesn't.
Also, there's a component of this that we are missing, and that is that men that are not happy with where they are financially are fucking mean. They treat you terribly, okay? And I feel like there's a space for that, and this is why I'm saying that it's not that you're.
All right, this is nonsense. This is nonsense. There are times that I was unhappy with where I was, and I never treated anyone mean or disgusting or anything like that. I was able to know to work with that. Again, using one-off cases to come on a platform to judge men like this is terrible. So now the little girl who has her boyfriend, right? She have her boyfriend, and maybe, today he was a little bit mean I don't know, he was disgruntled at work. She's going to be taking this now as, oh, you know what? Oh, wow. Maybe that's why Jim was acting like that. You know what? Oh, wow. Maybe I'm dissatisfied. Maybe I need to leave him for somebody else. That's exactly what you're doing. That's what this does.
you're not valuable to me, but there's a room and a lane for everybody that I feel like makes it safe and equitable for all the parties involved. If you meet somebody and they're a 300K woman, that may not be quite the lane for you. It doesn't mean that I value you less. It doesn't mean, but you're going to perform better. You're going to be a better person. You're going to have a better mindset. You're going to be in a clearer space when you feel valued, safe, at peace with where you are. And it's no harm, no foul in that. Stay there in that lane with the women that are in alignment with you. And
So what are you saying about those women? That they're not great women? Is that what we're saying pretty much? So we're saying those women are not great women. That's what we're saying.
leave the women, and don't be mad at us calling us broke gold diggers, dirty bald head scallywags on the internet because we are in this lane. But I have also experienced men that are uphill coming up a financial battle. And the good thing is that it will be wonderful to meet a man and he's like, babe, let's do this together. Let's build. I got this. You
Notice what she has said. It would be wonderful to meet a man that's saying all of this. So in other words, she hasn't met this particular man as yet. She's not married, just like Sarah is not married either. But they're giving out these advice to the little girls that are coming up. In other words, they're not really even telling the little girls that they should be seeking to get into marriage and to get a little partner and to try to actually, build a little bit of a family. It's not about that. No, I need to be going after the guy that's 300,000, even though him have a wife. I should be going after him.
that you got my back, I got your back. But the reality of it is because I went to school, I was valedictorian, I graduated, I got a master's degree, I did all this. Now you mad at me because you not in my lane. Get in your lane, make some more money, and then come over here. Now we all good. It's simple.
Nobody cares about that. I have a master's degree and I don't care. Like I don't. All of what you just said a while ago was pure nonsense. I could have taken a girl that had a bachelor's degree. I could have taken a woman that had pretty much a high school diploma. It still would not have mattered. What matters is she trying to do anything at all? Is she going anywhere? I've seen people in this country that has had just, just a high school diploma. And they work very, very good jobs and pretty much make six figures and they're able to do well. So what are we saying about, I'm telling you, this thinking I only am starting to only see from women who have these degrees, who come online and decide that, you know what, hey, I'm gonna take a jab at, at men, black men with some money, or black men who have no money at all. I'm gonna take a jab at these men because that's what I need to do. That's what I need to do. This is a woman that's actually in different spaces with rich white men, but none of them have married her. None of them have said, you know what, hey, come by, let me take you as my wife because you have all of these degrees. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. It never did. Women think it does. It doesn't. Would a man like to see his wife excel? Sure. It's great. Would I want my wife to have a doctorate? If she want to excel, she can excel, but it is not the prerequisite. It's not. It is extremely not. And teaching our little young girls and little young boys that this is exactly how they should be moving is wrong. No wonder them thinking about hitting it and quitting it. No wonder you have so much deception going on in our little community. And then you talk about no good men and trash men and all this kind of stuff. That's why you have all of this. It's because of this foolishness. It's because of this foolish backward thinking. It's like I'm better than you because I have a master's degree. That's what it become now. I'm better than you. I have a master's degree and you don't have one, so I'm better than you. I'm telling you, every single time I see these people on these platforms, it irks me because they're the ones that are going out there and this is what is being blasted to the world, being blasted to the black community. Make it look like they know what they're talking about, but they don't know what they're talking about. Who cares about any degree? Whoever cared? No, people care about potential. People care about who you are as a person. A man may want some sex appeal, of course, but he also wants the other parts. Are you nurturing as a mom? Are you a good partner? Are you a good listener? Will you be able to follow when it's time to follow? Will you be able to lead when it's time to lead? Because maybe I have to go somewhere and you have to take care of the house. These are the things that we should be talking about. Not this pure nonsense. Oh, she in $300,000 category and she's built startups and done whatever it is. Well, okay, well, I'll show the husband then. Since as this is what is being valued and this is the most valuable thing you can possibly do, show me the husband. But they have Sarah and they have girls like this on these particular platforms talking up a storm like they know what they're talking about. I hope some of the people that are on my channel, because I know I have a lot of mature people on my channel who are married and who can come out and tell them stories as to how their marriage worked and the things that they've achieved with their marriage. I'm telling you, It's just pure nonsense. It's almost like we've regressed with the fight that has occurred back in the civil rights movement's time. It's almost like we got those rights for nothing because now we're using them to do nothing. It's not progressive. This is very aggressive. But hey, you know what? Let me get off my soapbox. Let me know what y'all think. It's so heated. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and talk to y'all soon.